Let's talk about energy. It's everywhere. We're constantly trying to measure it, convert it, save it. But have you ever really stopped and asked yourself, what is it? I don't mean the formulas. I mean, what is the actual fundamental stuff we're measuring? Well, today we're diving into a framework that has a pretty wild answer to that question.
Right, so let's get into it. In physics as we know it, energy is like the ultimate accounting system for the universe. It's perfect. But here's the catch. The rulebook never actually tells you what the money is made of. We know exactly how it's spent and saved, but we have no idea what it is at its source.
And this really lays out the two sides of the coin. On the left, you've got the standard view. Energy is a bookkeeping tool. It works, right? It lets us build rockets and computers, but it doesn't tell us why. Now look at the right. The harmonic scale framework, or HSF, suggests something totally different. It says energy is the source code for reality. It's not just tracking what's conserved, it's explaining what is being conserved in the first place.
Okay, so if standard physics leaves a blank space, what exactly does HSF write in it? Well, it proposes a single fundamental source, a source for literally everything we see and everything we are.
And they call this source conscious core energy, or CCE for short. The idea here is that there's this one single conserved energy that exists before physical reality. And get this, everything, matter, energy fields, your thoughts, your consciousness, is all just a different translation, a different expression of this one single source.
So how does one thing become, well, everything? HSF sees it as a cascade, a stepping down of energy. It starts at the top, with pure, perfectly coherent CCE. Then it translates down into what's called the soul field, which is like the unique blueprint for an identity. From there, it goes through the Menti field, which sorts of organizes things. And finally, it hits the physical layers, what they call the K layers. And with each step down, the energy gets a little more jumbled, a little less coherent, until it's locked into the geometry of the physical world we know.
Okay, I know that sounds pretty out there and abstract, so let's bring it down to earth. Let's see how this framework explains one of the most basic building blocks of our reality, the electron. How does this model account for something so simple, yet so incredibly stable?
So first things first, forget everything you learned about the electron being a tiny little spinning ball. In this model, an electron isn't a thing so much as it's a process. The best way to picture it is like a perfectly synchronized dance. Imagine energy sloshing back and forth between two invisible containers. A water dance that never, ever stops.
And what are these two buckets? Well, bucket one is the K1 field. You can think of this as the matter part. It's what makes the electron act like a particle and have a specific location. Bucket two is the K2 field, the electromagnetic part. This is what generates its electric field and lets it interact with light. The electron is a perfect 50-50 split between these two states.
So you have to be asking, why doesn't this dance just fall apart? Why isn't it total chaos? The secret, the absolute key, is something called the 1-to-2 harmonic lock. The energy in the electromagnetic bucket, K2, oscillates at exactly twice the frequency of the matter bucket, K1. This perfect rhythm creates a self-correcting beat that keeps the whole dance perfectly stable. It's actually where the electron's spin 1/2 property comes from.
And this stability is no joke. I mean, electrons have been doing this dance for almost 14 billion years without missing a beat. According to HSF, it's because the system is completely sealed. No energy can leak out. The connection between the two buckets is perfectly symmetrical. And, as we're about to see, there's a huge backup reservoir of energy that makes sure the whole system stays in perfect balance.
And this is the secret weapon for stability, the K4 field. You can think of it like a pressure regulator or a governor on an engine. It's this deep reservoir of energy that holds the electron's total rest mass energy. It's the ultimate babysitter, making sure the sloshing between K1 and K2 never gets out of hand. One bucket can't run dry, and the other can't overflow. The K4 field keeps that dance perfectly, beautifully balanced.
Okay, so that's the electron, a tiny, self-stabilizing dance of energy. But if that's true for a single particle, what does it mean for us, for the universe? This is where we zoom out, and the implications start to get really mind-bending.
Just let this one sink in for a minute. If our physical body is just a lower coherence translation of that higher soul field layer, then your body isn't just a meat suit that carries you around. Your body is you. It's the physical expression of the very same energy that makes up your deepest identity. They're not two things, they're one.
This one just flips the whole script. We usually think of consciousness as something that maybe somehow emerges from the complicated physics of the brain. This model says, nope, you got it backward.
Physics is what happens when consciousness, that pure core energy, translates down, loses some of its coherence, and gets locked into the rules of geometry. Physics becomes a branch of consciousness.
So what about life itself? Well, from this perspective, life isn't some lucky random accident in a warm pond billions of years ago. It's a stable process. It's a special kind of lock between the physical, the mental, and the soul layers that creates a window where that conscious core energy can hold on to a specific identity inside a physical body for a long time.
Okay, so if an electron, our minds, and life itself are all just different expressions of the same source energy, what's the bottom line? Where does this logic lead us? What does it say about the very fabric of reality?
And here it is. This is the core takeaway. We're so used to thinking that the universe is built from stuff, from particles, from matter. This model argues that the fundamental building block isn't matter at all. It's coherence. Matter is just what happens when that coherence drops to its lowest possible level. Things like mind and soul and life, they're just higher states of coherence of the exact same energy. So, I'll just leave you with this to chew on. Is our universe a cold, dead machine made of separate, lifeless parts? Or is it something more, alive? A self-translating cascade where matter and mind and life are all just different notes in a single universal song of coherence. Thanks for exploring this with me today.